Well, we've seen Bitcoin pushing above that $60,000 level in the run up to the launch of this ETF. Our next guest says this could trigger a Bitcoin rally with the digital currency soaring to $168,000 at year end. Let's bring in Sean Farrell, Fundstrat head of digital asset strategy. Sean, you certainly got my attention when I saw 168,000. Walk me through your thesis.
Hey, Akiko. First off, thanks for having me. So I'm sure a lot of people saw our head of research, Tom Lee's note yesterday, citing the potential for over upwards of 50 billion of inflows in the first year of, BITO's trading history. And, I think the whole premise is based on the fact that a lot of people are discounting the unmet demand right now for exposure to Bitcoin in traditional financial markets. I don't recall where I saw this number, but I think somewhere around $24 trillion of assets being managed by professional financial advisors and financial planners don't have, frictionless access to Bitcoin at the moment. And if we step back and just surmise that perhaps a few bips of that $24 trillion of capital, is allocated to a Bitcoin, albeit futures-based ETF, we're looking at hitting that $50 billion figure pretty easily.
I mean, so far the day one trading volume, I think, has impressed a lot of people from what we were just talking about there in this ETF. Given the fact that it wasn't the same as owning spot Bitcoin outright. You got to deal with some issues here, but it's baby steps. And I suppose Bitcoin's prices always move a little maybe more volatile than what the news suggests. We saw that on the downside here when we were talking about China cracking down on mining. So maybe not completely unexpected to see a big pop today. It's granted not a huge pop, but Bitcoin moving up today off of the launch of the ETF. I mean, how soon is too soon to call this being as big as people are talking about? It's one day of inflows, but I mean, how does it fit into the longer term thesis you have of that enthusiasm maintaining itself?
Yeah, Zach. I mean, I think when you look at whether it be this ETF approval, the adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender by a sovereign nation, these are all just fundamentally huge steps in the development of Bitcoin as an asset and crypto as an asset class.